Hi everyone, and welcome to this reading on the energies of the collective and where we are at the moment. So this reading is about which healing energies are trying to connect to our aura energy field, which planets, star people, beings from other dimensions and so on are trying to come in and communicate with us, and whom we are communicating with as well, perhaps more or less consciously. If there's any star constellation or planets, solar systems coming through or popping up in your mind throughout the reading, please go with that, because that is meant for you on a more personal level. And then just tune into your intuition and allow things to just come in exactly the way they wish to. We have been limiting ourselves for too long, I think, on a mind level, and I sense that from my own space experience on an everyday life basis, there are smaller or bigger breakthroughs of communication with what is beyond. When preparing and shuffling the different decks for this reading, I was first of all asking for guidance, advice, and information on the developments on Mother Earth at this moment on our planet, the information that could come up to assist us in how to move forward. And then secondly, I was asking on how these energies would affect us in our everyday physical 3D lives. So let's have a look at the first card that is coming out. And here we have the color violet, card number 45, and this card is saying create a balanced life. The violet color is also referring to our crown chakra, and especially for the violet color, it's reminding us that we can go beyond the 7 chakras right now, that we have an opportunity to move into more chakras. So however that resonates with you on a personal level, this is definitely where we are trying to get at as a collective right now. We are actually trying to create balance, even though the situation on the planet right now can seem somewhat chaotic, and with the big pandemic going on and smaller and bigger wars and conflicts, it is actually all playing out because it needs to be rectified. We need to know the truth about all of it, and we cannot create something into balance if we don't know the truth of it. So here, the violet color is actually calling for us to go more deeply throughout our higher selves, to connect with the grid, the electromagnetic grid around the earth and beyond. Because there are definitely, with this card coming through, other beings, other energies who are really trying to get into contact with us. And with this violet color, it's an extremely healing color as well. And so we are being healed on a mental level right now, and on what we used to think we can use our brain to, how we can use our brains. You know, we have been maybe putting restrictions on ourselves through the education system. We have been told what is possible and what is not. And now it is time for us to really wake up and see that there are possibilities beyond that. And so let's move on to the next cards that are coming out. And these two cards came out together. The first one is talking about defenselessness, riding past wrongs, and uprooting. And the card is about feeling sorry for something, apologizing, seeing now that things that we have been doing for decades and for perhaps hundreds of years, and in a bigger scale, perhaps even over more than thousands of years, it is now time to have a closer look at that and how we have been treating ourselves, each other, and Mother Earth. And now there is like this crack is opening to a deeper spot in ourselves and also in Mother Earth, actually, as a planet. There's a lot of energy coming out, if you can see the ray in the picture, in the middle of the picture, coming up from the ground. Again, there is something that we need to have another look at. Everything is playing out because we need to have a second look at that to get to the bottom of it, to start to rectify what perhaps was not such an ideal solution in the past. But now we see that, and we feel perhaps also that things are playing out in a way that where we cannot defend ourselves anymore. We feel vulnerable. We feel that things are really being cut to the chase. There is no hiding here. So again, back to the violet color, telling us to create a balanced life. This is really about things playing out for the greater good, for us to have a look at all aspects of how we have been treating ourselves and each other. So let's have a look at the card that came out with this card. And here we have Water Your Garden. And this card is talking about nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. So this is about how we are treating ourselves again, and also how we are treating Mother Earth. So I feel that this could go in two directions, both socially and also when it comes to sustainability. How do we make things grow in our lives, and how do we treat our garden quite literally? What do you put in the soil? Because it's like that, how we sow is exactly how we are going to reap, right? So what do you like to see play out for the collective, and then start to plant that intention within your own personal life. That is really how we create a better world, by taking one step at a time in our own life. So we need to find a better balance, if we include the violet color and creating a balanced life that it was talking about. So we need to have a better balance between our work life, home, family, friends, whatever we do as a hobby, and then also take time out for rest. I feel an underlining of rest here on this card, and we can't really move into a higher dimension here throughout our higher selves if we are not fully sharp, if we are not really in for it, if we are just having a lot of thoughts going on the mental level and not being focused on doing what these two cards are showing us. So we really need to take it very seriously to rest, and whatever that means for you, perhaps meditation, or just perhaps taking a swim somewhere, or whatever it is for you, or perhaps it's just simply by sleeping a little bit more than you are used to. Because this is very important for us to take in new information and advice and guidance, and also to have what it takes from our life force, our life power, to actually take action on doing something new with our lives, to move into a new and better and more sustainable direction. Okay, so let's move on to these cards over here. And these cards are about how all of these energies will affect our everyday life, in which life areas, and so on. And when I was shuffling this deck, these 3 cards actually came out together. And I will just show you the first one. And this is talking about family. So, I'm feeling drawn to the uprooting over here. That there's some kind of uprooting here. Perhaps it is time for you to leave your family traditions, to leave your family to the belief systems that have been related to your family structure. Perhaps it's time for something new. Or maybe for some of you, it is time simply to leave the family you're in, to look for new pathways in your life where you feel more connected emotionally and on a soul level. As we can see, we have the moon here in the picture, and with all the birds flying, it's like we're moving more into freedom with our family structures. Whether that is to actually leave your family, or it is to just change the patterns of your family life, whatever it is. But we're definitely moving into more freedom here. So let's have a look at the second card that came out. And here we have commitment with these 2 lovely birds being connected through the blue wire. So this is talking about existing commitment in your life, family life right now, or it is talking about new commitments. Again, this is a reading of the collective, and we are all different places in our lives. But I feel that no matter what we choose, if it is leaving our family, or it is to change the structure, the traditions, and so on, we will be in alignment with our soul contracts that we made before we came here to Earth at this particular time of history. So as we can see in this picture as well, the moon is represented here as well. So there is a fine relation here that no matter in which direction, whatever we choose with that, we can rest assured that we are in alignment with our soul contracts, in alignment with our destiny. So let's have a look at the last card that came out with the other 2 cards. And here we have finding. And there's something soothing over this card, I think, with all the golden light, which could be a symbol of finding Christ, and finding the Christ light. With the butterflies, we're talking about transformation. And again, we have the moon in the background, and this woman is smiling, and she seems very relaxed. And so it is about, no matter how we find this soul tribe, whether in our existing family patterns or finding new family patterns, leaving our families, we will find ourselves at home. Because the moon is also talking about home, actually, our emotions, our shadow sides, our divine feminine. And so that could be something about finding, as there is a woman in this picture, finding our divine feminine side within ourselves as a collective, to find our way home, so to say, to what is truth for us, how we truthfully want to live here on Earth. So no matter which way, which path we are choosing to get there, we will definitely find what we are looking for. Maybe even though we may not be aware of, on a conscious level, what it is that we're trying to find, what it is that we're actually looking for. We just know that things need to change. So However this resonates with you on a personal level, definitely know that there is a lot of hope. But it is about feeling committed to what we do. And if we don't feel committed to how things are in our lives right now, then we need to change it, because there is something better looking up for us. But we need to go through a lot of transformation before that is happening. But we can rest assured that we will have abundance in our lives, that we will feel at home no matter where we end up. And so let's have a look at the last card on how this is affecting us. And here we have card number 23. And however the numbers of some of the cards may resonate with you on a personal level, definitely go with that. I will just move back to the violet card, card number 45. When you add these two numbers, you get the number 9, and that is talking about closure, the ending of a long journey, preparing for new beginnings. However, new beginnings have not yet taken place. We need to have a look at this long journey and where we are at with that right now before we start to plan on new beginnings. And so let's move back to this card number 23. And it says courthouse. So things are being rectified. Things are being straightened out right now. And there might be for many people right now on a personal level, a lot of things playing out in their lives, perhaps through a divorce or fighting over your children, and which parent should keep which child, and so on, right down to the detail. And it can also be on financial matters perhaps. But however it resonates with you on a personal level, you can be sure that there will come some kind of outcome right now. Maybe it's been going on for a long time in your own life as well. But on a collective level, we are definitely having things rectified. We now see any kind of truth coming to the surface for the only purpose of being set straight, of getting to the bottom of things. And so we have a lot of angel-like persons working within governments and courthouses, within law, and people who are working with justice in many different areas of life, in institutions and organizations. And they are there because they made a soul contract of being there in this particular moment of history. So we can really count on that now things are being set straight. But it is a long journey. It has been a long journey. It's not yet over, but we will see that some kind of transformation is coming in that is moving us towards more freedom. So we should really just try to prepare for that right now through our family structure. And I also feel that through the family card, we are being reminded of what has kept us safe, or where we have felt secure, that is now changing a little bit. But we will find that where we are going to end up by changing these structures is a much better place, and where we can see things grow in our lives in a more healthier way. And definitely in a smoother way, as we could see in the last card over here with the woman with all the gold. And we will really find abundance. We will be connected to the Christ light. So it's really about looking beyond now, not limiting ourselves on a mind level, but actually to dare ask the questions that need to really ask. I can't find the word. To actually ask the questions that are needed to get to the bottom of things so that we can move on in a rightful and just direction for everyone involved. And we don't do that overnight. We're talking about the entire collective of the earth. But like I mentioned before, if we could just start to make small steps in our own lives, then that is actually a big thing. Because if we all do that little by little, and we share information with each other about doing that, then eventually we will have a quite beneficial effect that will include the entire globe to move into a more beneficial direction for everyone. So we are really being asked here, I sense, to create more balance, to do what it takes, to know that we are righting past wrongs, as this card was talking about, and that we now begin to acknowledge that we have been overspending, and we are acknowledging the problem with how we have been treating Mother Earth. And of course, overpopulation is also a theme here, but we will begin, we're in the paradigm shift right now. That's why everything seems so chaotic. But we will, over the years, find a more stable way to make things work out better for everyone involved. So this was what I had for you. I hope you have felt inspired and perhaps maybe dive into a meditation to connect more with your higher self. We're definitely through the violet color, being asked to tune into that color for more information. And you can do that both regarding your own personal life, but also the collective. We can all ask questions at any given time. So thank you for watching and listening. I'm wishing you all the best out there. Take very much care of yourselves. Bye for now.